in this video, you're going to hear some things like, this car's been underwater, this car's been flooded.
Already, we got some rust here. Look at that. Well, these cotter pins are rusted in here. It doesn't hit metal to metal. You actually hits this little stopper. Too high or too low, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, we try to do most of the adjustment here, and hopefully once we get in the car, we'll save ourselves some time.
We had dye in there, and all this green all the way around.
Welcome back to this episode of AHC Garage, working on my 2005 Honda Accord. You might remember on last episode, we changed the wheel color and a lot of you guys in the comments really liked it. We also did some suspension work and we took a test drive at the end of the video and I realized, well, it really wasn't up to par. TJ even told me my car rides like an old Honda and I just don't want that anymore. So on this episode, we're going to be putting in a new set of highly recommended BC coilovers, and we also have some other goodies. Some of you in the comments told us, hey, you got to replace those tie rods, and we already have them and we're ready to go. Now, real quick, in this video, you're going to hear some things like, this car's been underwater, this car's been flooded. You're going to hear these comments by TJ. Please don't believe them and carry on and enjoy the rest of this video.
All right, so you guys saw Brian talking about what we're going to be doing. First up, we are going to be changing out the inner and outer tie rods, the boots, the bands, the whole nine. As he said, and mentioned on last time there, is we did take the car for a test drive, and this thing handled like crap. It was loose, like you could just feel that these things were kind of shot. So it was about time to change these. And the suspension as well was shot. I mean, it did not ride good. So we're gonna go ahead and get them all set up, bring this thing to the 2000s, you know, but give it a little 2025 touch to it. All right, let's go ahead. We'll lift the car up, take the wheels off, and we'll show you guys a little closer on what we're gonna be doing. As you can see, his boots are shot, leaking all the grease out. So we're gonna go ahead and change those up. Also, his actual boot for the inner tie rod is completely gone here. So we're gonna have to get all this out. We'll put all new stuff in and get them nice and set up. Already, we got some rust here. Look at that. Well, these cotter pins are rusted in here. I wonder why. Notice how this side it's not as rusty as the other side because it had a bunch of grease to protect it from rusting from when it was under the water in the flood. Look at that, easy. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and loosen the locking nut here real quick before we get the tie rod out of the knuckle. And then I actually got a little thing that I do to kind of align it back somewhat when you go to put the new ones on. All right, so I like to count however many times this goes around so I kind of know however many times I need to spin it back on to kind of keep it centered so when we go do the alignment, it's not all crazy. $16 and a half. 16 and a half. That's weird. All right, so I'm just cleaning this up. We'll go ahead and I got a special tool to take off the inner tie rods here. That was a right hand. Oh yeah, look at this thing.
Here you go, right here. Got Loctite on there?
Looks like it. Put Loctite on it.
That's why it's so hard to turn.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. Red Loctite.
That's why it's so hard to turn. Wow.
All right, so we got our inner tie rod, and it comes with this locking washer here with these 2 tabs. And then once you get those tabs in place on the rack, you just tap these 2 ends and it folds it over so that way this doesn't come loose. Also, Brian didn't have these on. I think somebody's been in here before. It had a bunch of aftermarket stuff. So these are actually like a plastic, you know, feels like plastic, but it's like a stopper. So when you turn the wheel lock to lock, it doesn't hit metal to metal. You actually hits this little stopper and kind of cushions it.
How's it go again?
Cushions it.
There you go. All good. I'm gonna see if I can find this in Amazon, and I'll go and put the link in the description. Oh, there you go, huh? There you go.
Matter because it's coming back out.
16.
There you go.
Look at that, the wheel's straight. All right, so we finished up with the tie rods and the boots. We ordered some new cotter pins, so that'll probably be here another day. But let's move on to the coilovers. We'll get these old ones out, we'll put the BCs in, get the height set, and go from there.
So we're gonna start up the front here. Now, one of the reasons we need to replace these coilovers because doing a test drive, man, those things were clunking all over the place. And TJ made a recommendation to Brian, and Brian was like, "Man, I didn't hear any sound." But then I had to point out to Brian that, hey, those things are bad. So the front coilovers are pretty straightforward. We just dropped the fork here, as you can see. Pretty much we're just gonna slide that out of the way. We got 3 bolts on the very top, and the whole thing is gonna come down. There we go. Here we have our front coilover from the left front. It's pretty old. How are we looking here, TJ?
Yeah, this thing is way outdated, and it's super loose.
All right, here we have our BC coilovers. This is the BR series, which is their base model, but they ride really, really good for the price point. I think at $1,200 MSRP. You guys definitely need to try them out. As far as the spec is 10K front and 8K in the back. Take a look at them. Full body coilovers here. Take a look at that. Now, take a look at the tin here. Most of the tin, especially the lower models, they do not come with the top hat. So as you can see over here, this is the OEM top hat. Now over here with the BC, actually comes complete. Top hat, everything. 32 ways adjustable on the very top. You got plenty of adjustment at the bottom. Take a look at that right there again. I like them a lot. I had them on my Integra Type R and a few other project cars that we have here. At $1,200, I think that's a lot of coilovers here.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to set kind of the height how it was before, and then we can work our way from that. If it's too high or too low, but it's pretty close.
Yeah, we try to do most of the adjustment here, and hopefully once we get in the car, we'll save ourselves some time. Don't want to go crazy, do all the adjustment. How are we looking here? All good with the top. Now let's go ahead and move on to the bottom. And now we're gonna go ahead and preload our suspension up in the front here. Let me go ahead and tighten everything up once we get everything aligned here.
It's tight.
So, front end's all finished up. Go ahead and move on to the rear here. The first thing we remove is the rear sway bar links here. And just like that, we're all done at the bottom. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to the top. I think we're gonna have to fold down the rear seat to get to the upper mount. All right, let's get to the back. All right, here we go. For this side.
Go ahead.
Oh. Okay, ready, T?
Yeah.
Good?
Yep.
There you go. And we're gonna go ahead and do the same adjustment, just like the front.
Try that right there. Do that right there.
So what we typically do, we typically just set the dampening right in the middle. It's a 32-way adjustable one, so we set it right around 16. There you go, right there.
Pretty even, huh?
Pretty even right there. Let's do it. We are all finished up here. Good job, TJ.
Let's see how the height looks.
Man, this car came along so well. And now we got a vehicle off the lift on an even ground, and I think the back is really close, exactly what it was before.
Yeah.
Now the front looks like maybe you need to go down just a tad bit.
Maybe
What about this side here?
Maybe one turn on this one.
Yeah, this side's a little higher here.
Yeah.
Maybe a couple of turns
Couple of
here.
turns there.
The back is good.
The back is pretty close. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me measure the back and see how we're looking. Just over 23 and a half. We're just a little lower on this.
So what's the verdict?
So we're gonna leave this one. That side is 2 lines a little higher, so we're gonna do a turn on that. We're gonna do a 1 turn here because this is really close to where it was, and then the other side will even that out on a couple turns, and that should be it. Lock it down.
Just lock it down. So close, you know?
Yeah.
All right, there you go. Should be all good here.
Let's see how it looks now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, looks really good. Look at that. So far, so good.
I'm gonna roll it back.
Let's go ahead and look at the other side too. Yeah, I like it. So we got a suspension pretty much dialed in, and we got the wheels back off because our collar pin just came in, and we're gonna finish that up. And once we finish this, we do have a couple more things here. I'm gonna show you in the bench here. We do have to put a new battery in it because when we tried to start it earlier, it didn't want to start. It's a really old battery. It's a good time for us to replace it with a reman battery. And also, Brian's AC compressor is leaking, which we're going to show you guys in just a little bit. The front seal is leaking, so you see a bunch of yellow dye, or green dye I should say, all over the compressor. And we have an OEM replacement, a Denso replacement. It comes with everything that you would need, and it even comes factory shim, so you don't even have to do that. You just got to bolt it in and replace it. And let me take a look here, and I can see. So here is the bottom view of the compressor. TJ, what are we looking at here?
If you can see, there's all that green dye is stained on there, and that's because we put dye in it a while ago to check for any leaks. And finally, now you can see it's leaking right out of the front seal, of the compressor, and it's leaking so much that you don't even need the UV light to see it. You can see it without a UV light.
Yeah, it's right over here. I know Brian been dealing with AC problem. I know he got a couple of AC hoses that was leaking, but I think now it's all taken care of. But yeah, like I said, we got a battery, we got a compressor. You're gonna finish some cotter pins. We gotta put the wheels back on. Then we got a 4-wheel alignment, go for a test drive, and I think it should be good to go there.
Yep.
Just that we're waiting for. Now she's ready to go. All right, so we're gonna jump on to the AC compressor replacement now. We're gonna evacuate the system, taking all the Freon out of the system. Make sure it's not leaking through the atmosphere. We don't want that, right? So we got our AC machine here. Compressor is pretty straightforward. All we're gonna do is remove our cooling reservoir here, take out the fan, remove the lines after you evacuate it, and then we go ahead and take out the 4 bolts that hold the compressor. TJ will remove the 2 on the bottom with the splash shield on, which is pretty cool. Good. Kind of a bunch of work. And once you take out the lines, it should just pull right out. So we just removed the cooling reservoir there. We're gonna have to move our fan strap out of the way, and it's a 1-piece fan shroud here. So in order for us to do that, we're gonna have to remove our upper radiator hose. We don't want to mess, so we're gonna drain some of the cooling in the meantime. No mess here. There you go. Look at all that space we have there now. All right, so serpentine belt is up next here. Whoa. Wait. Oh, you lock it in with the power steering pump nuts there.
Now I don't gotta go crazy putting it back on.
That's another trick for you guys. There you go. Pretty good trick here. All you're gonna need is just a longer than normal 14 wrench. This happened to be 14-17 snap-on. There you go. That's your compressor there.
All right, so here's the old compressor. As you can see, we had dye in there, and all this green all the way around. It's coming from the seal that's on the inside here under the clutch and coil. And so that's why we're going to change it, because we don't want it to leak anymore. So we put a new compressor on it, and we should be good to go.
And here's the new one side by the old one. You can't really see it, but you can barely see the Denso sticker. And there you go. That's a factory replacement here. Yep, that's it, man. And we go ahead and change these O-rings here as well. Pop the new O-ring back on. So the AC lines are in. Let's go ahead and vacuum the system here. Go ahead and do 30 minutes.
I'll put the fan back in.
Upper radiator hose here. There you go. All good here. Battery is up next here. Oh, we got a dual last pole power plus. Alright, putting the wheels back on. And the last step is topping her off. I don't think we need that much. Perfect, no mess. There you go. Vacuum's all done. Let's go ahead and start her up and recharge the system. Should start real nice right now with new battery. Oh yeah. All right, let's go ahead and turn on the AC. All right, so charging 1 pound, 3 ounces, so what, 19 ounces?
It's a little over 19. I put it at 20 ounces because there's a little over 19 in there.
Oh, wow. All charged up. Go.
How's it feel?
Check it out real quick.
Is it?
And with that, I'm gonna take out my gloves. And oh yeah,
It's nice, T.
yeah, yeah, real nice.
It's too cold out, so it's picking it off.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, so close that hood, and only thing we have left is 4-wheel alignment. Oh yeah, it's so much nicer already. So we're gonna go ahead and compensate the vehicle now. Get the readings in. T is going to lock the steering wheel there, make sure nice and center. And all we're gonna be doing is the front toe, which we are not far apart. Well, once that's back up, because right now it's blocking a target, and we'll show you guys the reading here. Here's the reading for the front toes. Slight adjustment on the left front. Yeah, there you go. Should be good to go there. All right, so finally got her back on the road after the alignment. It'll be our first turn here. High-speed turn. Oh my God, TJ, you gotta slow down. 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
The ride's pretty good. I can definitely tell it different.
So much smoother. So much smoother.
You know, it would have stopped clunking already.
Oh yeah.
The funny thing
Before we like this popcorn.
you know, funny thing is, Brian don't even feel the issue with the suspension.
Oh. There's
And
no
then
way.
not until we told him the coil was no good, and then afterwards, like, oh man, you know what? I actually hear the clunking.
There's no way he's not gonna feel the difference between these coilovers and the last ones. This is night and day.
How smooth that is.
It's like we're on like airbags. It's like floating. That's how smooth it is.
And right now, I think the dampening, we set it right in the middle.
Yeah.
So we can still do some fine adjustment to get it even a little bit softer. But I actually like how it drives right now. And
I
it's
like
a pretty big drop. It's a pretty big drop. So not bad at all. But you know what I'm going to do though? I do want Brian to drive it tomorrow because he already out of the shop today. And I want to see his reaction. And what do you think about these coilovers? This could be another test here. Originally, when we tested back here, it was clunking all over the place. Nothing.
No.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Try to hit some of these big bumps here.
All right, so the boys just finished getting this thing all together. They took a little drive themselves, and I'm driving it for the first time. Completely different. You gotta know something. I've been driving with these same style coilovers for the whole life of the car. It started off with T and S-Tech. You guys remember that back in the day? Then it was ground controls with Coney Yellows, and then it went into T and SS, and then I got T and Basis, and that's all I really ever knew until TJ told me about BC. And this car, even in the steering wheel, the number one thing I realized that's different is the smoothness of the steering. It's not moving, it's not shaking. When I'm going into a low speed turn, it's not clanking. It doesn't sound like a Honda. So it actually is, it's much better, it's much smoother. And let's be honest, I don't drive this thing fast, it's just a cruiser. and I want it to be smooth while I'm cruising. So going over bumps, going over small dips, I don't feel it. I go over it and it's done, and it feels smooth thereafter. So I'm really happy. I listened to the guys. I spent a little bit more extra money, and I got a nice set of coils on the car. I feel like it really complements all the work the guys did. I had to put it in there, and it's just amazing, an amazing drive. So a couple other things guys noticed when I got the AC, when I got this unit installed, the AC wasn't blowing as cold, and I figured maybe it was because the unit's not, you know, up to OEM par. Or they were taking it apart, as you guys saw before, to replace the AC compressor. And this thing, we actually, before we started recording, had to turn it down. It was so stinking cold in here. So, summer's coming up in a few months. This thing is really ready to go. You can see that there's condensation on the dash, and we're just on the windows, and we literally just started 10 minutes ago. And what better to have a car from 2005 that's blowing this cold? So, you know, with all that and a new system hooked up, I think the guys did a terrific job on the build. And this is going to put an end to the build and all of TJ's jokes about this car being underwater. I want to thank you guys for coming along on this journey. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you did, drop a comment and tell us what your favorite thing about this build was. And we'll see you guys on the next episode.